So at this point in our course, we have a good understanding of how we arrived at the idea of corporate social innovation. We've discussed the advances in thinking and practice about how companies have tried to balance business and social value. We mapped them on a matrix to provide a complete picture of the actions companies take to deliver value to the business and value to society. We learned that while there's been significant progress, and there are good reasons to be optimistic about the role business can play in society, we also acknowledge there are limitations and challenges still facing leaders and managers in the field. And we took a moment to consider the moral perspective of it all. Lots of good ground covered and a solid foundation to move on to our next module. So let's turn our focus to management frameworks. There are a number of good, useful frameworks available, and we're going to take a look at 3 that have emerged as really strong tools. We'll look at corporate shared value, put forth by Michael Porter. We'll look at the framework for sustainability, put forth by Ceres. And we'll look at one we'll call 5 factors for success, which really represents a consolidation of thinking in the field. We've chosen these 3 because they represent what's emerged as best practice from the field, and they represent a range of thinking. Each has a different emphasis. If you're asking which one is the best for you, they're really all effective. It's really going to be a matter of selecting which is the best fit for your company's current circumstance when it comes to advancing social issues, your company's culture, and operating norms. So let's get started, and we'll take a look at Michael Porter's. And if you're a business school student, chances are very good you know Michael Porter's work. His book, Competitive Strategy, is still the go-to reference for learning how your organization can compete more effectively in the marketplace to gain a true competitive advantage. But in addition to his landmark work in marketing and strategy in the early 2000s, he brought his ideas about what it means to compete, what is truly a competitive advantage, to corporate philanthropy. He applied some of the same thinking and frameworks in his article, The Competitive Advantage of Philanthropy, became another landmark. It really introduced a new way of thinking about corporate philanthropy. It challenged lots of assumptions, criticized some established views, and effectively changed the trajectory of the thinking about business and society. Porter's model makes a couple of important and useful distinctions. First, he defines a specific standard for business value. We talked earlier in the course about the problem in CSR when the rhetoric gets a little ahead of the reality. Well, talking about delivering both business and social value is one of those times. It's easy to say, find the sweet spot, or win-win, or virtuous circle. But when you look closer, very often the rigor isn't always there when it comes to finding the business value. Porter's framework of competitive advantage provides us that rigor. His framework has a very specific definition of business value. According to Porter's framework, business value is realized when a company improves its competitive position or ability to compete. He calls this competitive context. And so business value occurs when competitive context is improved. Now let's look at how competitive context is defined. Dr. Porter cites 4 elements, and according to the model, a social initiative creates business value when one of these 4 is improved. First is the overall context for strategy and rivalry, the conditions to engage in market competition. Are the firms free to compete? Do the local laws, policies, and conditions allow for open and strong competition? Second is demand conditions, the nature of the demand for your product or service. Are there customers around? Are they well informed? Do they choose to buy what you offer? What are the drivers of demand? And third is the related and supporting industries. Is there a strong presence of suppliers in related industries? Porter's model emphasizes the local aspects of competition with local clusters of an industry and that ability to influence that cluster. Fourth is factor conditions, the factors of production. Is there a quality supply of the labor for your business? Is the infrastructure needed present? Think of cities with a large healthcare industry and what's present in those cities, research hospitals, education institutions, etc. In this model, business value is created when one of these 4 factors is improved. Now, Porter's continued to build on his thinking over the years with very well-known and very well-regarded work, including the concept of corporate shared value. To summarize, Porter's original perspective, his research, his teachings are all in competitive strategy. He's a strategy guy. How you choose to compete. And he brings that same perspective to his social value work. The framework is grounded in improving a company's competitive position. So for managers who want a rigorous definition of business value, Porter's model has much to offer. He sets a very high bar. For example, he looks at the Avon breast cancer crusade, which we mentioned earlier in the course. Let's apply Porter's standard. Does it improve Avon's competitive context? Avon would tell us they've educated more than 145 million people. They've donated more than $800 million. I suspect they'd also be glad to tell us about the business value it helped create. But Dr. Porter sees it differently. He applies his standard, and he reaches the conclusion that none of the 4 elements of competitive context are changed by Avon's breast cancer crusade. And you'll say, wait a minute, what about demand conditions? Surely more people want to support Avon with their purchases. They must get a higher consumer demand. But Porter says demand conditions are the same. The market has not grown, and maybe Avon gained some share of an existing market, but the context in which they compete, that context has not changed. Now, we should say that people are going to disagree, and that's one of the things that keeps business school professors churning out models and frameworks. But Porter's work has made a significant contribution to the field. It has truly advanced the theory and practice of how companies can create both business and social value. The model works well for companies that emphasize competitiveness and want a hard, very rigorous standard to apply.